Hey, Spartan fans, welcome into this latest edition of the Michigan State Spartans Insider Podcast. I'm your beat reporter for Michigan State Spartans on SI, Aidan Champion. And can you believe it? Fall camp already, first week already almost done. Seems like it just started, and it basically did, but that's how fast this thing goes. We saw how fast the summer went to get to this point, and before you know it, game one against Western Michigan is going to be here. And this Spartan team is motivated and ready to prove the doubters wrong, especially up front, where the offensive line, going to be a crucial component of this team. It all starts in the trenches. It's, you know, kind of football 101 is everything starts up front. And this group knows that. Of course, Jonathan Smith knows that. And it was an area of this team's offense that, really hindered it last season for whatever reason. They had some solid guys up front, but just could not get things going on a consistent basis, especially the run game, which is what I want to get into. The run game, Michigan State, one of the worst teams in the Big Ten last year in that department, just 115.3 yards per game on the ground. And it really was a shame because I feel like it kind of wasted the potential of Nate Carter and K'Ron Lynch-Adams, two really good running backs. Both of them were veterans in their final seasons, and they each, they had their moments, and they could have been a really great tandem for this team. Um, I think right off the bat we saw that, and it was. I think fans were excited about it initially, about the possibility that you had there with those two, but just never was able to take advantage of that. And it did start up front, and the offensive line let the team down, particularly with the run game. And obviously, in order to be a successful team, you have to have a solid run game. Not even great, but solid. Something that you can lean on when either the pass isn't there or you got to be able to lean on it to open up the pass. Run opens up the pass. Um, and that's especially going to be crucial this season when you've got so many great guys in the wide receiver room, so many weapons for Aiden Childs, plus Jack Velling. And you got to be able to use that to your advantage. And I do think that this team will be improved in the run game. Brian Lindgren, offensive coordinator, talked about it. I asked him about the red zone. Obviously, Michigan State did not do well in the red zone last year offensively, and he said, a part of that was they weren't able to run the ball down there, and that was something that they took pride in at Oregon State. They were a really good red zone team, and a lot of that was because they were able to excel at running the ball. Uh, when they got down to the red zone, and weren't able to do that last year, but you absolutely have to this year. Um, and I think this will be an improved offensive line. I know there's a lot of turnover, but brought in some great guys, Connor Moore, Matt Golban, Luka Vincic. He obviously comes over from Oregon State, so knows this coaching staff well. But this, you got them, and then obviously returning some key guys, Stan Ramil, Ashton Lepo, uh, Christian Phillips is going to be key. And, part of their woes last year were injuries, which kind of held them back. But that can't be an excuse because offensive line, I mean, that's an area uh, they're, um, they're making the most contact of any group on the team. Obviously, aside from defensive line. And you're going to see injuries up front. It's just natural. So that's where depth comes into play. And I think this offensive line has a very deep room, which is gonna is something that they can lean on, and I think that's gonna help them out a lot. Um, but so I think this group is hungry. You know, you look at even the new guys like Golban,
and Vincic.
who they're taking it upon themselves. They're hungry to um, to get this offensive line where it needs to be. And they weren't even here last year. They weren't part of the struggles, and yet they want to they're taking ownership of that that call to turn it around. And so that's going to be absolutely vital to be able to open up the run game. And then you know, your running backs, I think it's gonna, I've said before, I think it's gonna kind of be a running back by committee type of thing because Jonathan Smith likes to run multiple backs. Still don't know who's gonna be your primary back, but I would assume it'd be Elijah Tolliver, just because of his experience. He's got the most experience in that room and had success at Sacramento State. And then behind him, Brandon Tolis, Makai Frazier, and even Jace Clarizio, the freshman. Um, Jonathan Smith, we've talked about this, said that that battle is, goes as deep as five guys. So that's definitely, um, one of the more prominent position battles on this team. Um, but you got depth there, different styles of running. Um, but I think it's a solid room, but also a very uncertain room. Like I said, I mean, Tolliver's the most experienced guy behind him, not a whole lot of experience. So don't really know what you've got. We do know that, they are good running backs, but can they lead lead the charge, get things back on track with the run game? Remains to be seen, but I do think that you can feel confident about it because of the offensive line and the fact, I mentioned all the weapons Aiden Childs now has. I think um, the fact that the passing game should be better, it's going to turn defenses' attention away from the run game. Um, you'll be able to utilize that when so much emphasis, pressure, focus is turned toward your pass game if you are as effective as you should be in that area. So the run game, there is reason to believe that it will improve, and I'm sure that it was a heavy emphasis this offseason, and I think that the team as a whole is really taking it upon itself, especially the offense, obviously, but to uh, to make strides in that department. I think it will. So. Let me know. What do you guys think? Will this run game be improved? Because it needs to be, absolutely needs to be. Uh, Not just last year, but just ever since Kenneth Walker. Team's this team has not been able to rely on its run game. Um, and that's something that historically Michigan State has been um, able to hang its hat on, and it hasn't been able to in these recent years. So. That's if you want to get back to a bowl game, get back to earning your respect as one of the more talked about teams in the Big Ten. Well, run game, you gotta have success in that area. Like I said, not even a lot. Um, just something where um, it's not hindering you. It's not a weakness. So, but like I said, I do think they will improve. Let me know what you think. If you feel the same way, as always, you can read all of our content on Michigan State Spartans on SI, giving you tons of daily content. And we love doing it. Hope you love digesting that. that content we provide you. Hope you're all having a great weekend, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks, everyone.